Oh, I'm going in. I'm going in. Shit.
Good afternoon.
There we go.
Can you confirm your name and chapter for us before we begin?
Yes. Trevor Denier, Galt, Liberty Ranch.
Perfect. I'm just going to give you the lay of the land here before we get started. My role is just to be here as a room monitor and timekeeper. So while you're speaking, I will keep track of time. When your speech concludes, you will automatically start 5 minutes of questions from the judges. If based on their questions and your answers we go up to time, I will call time at 5 minutes, and then you'll be able to exit the Zoom. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Um, after I give the 5 minutes, I just leave, right?
Yeah. Yep. All right.
Great.
Okay, let me pull this up and you may begin.
Farming the black soldier, composting. Did you know that all of us are contributing to California's growing challenges? And spoiler alert, do not appear to be getting better in the short term. Instead, we have trash trouble. California is home to more operating landfills than any other state in the nation, 118 to be exact. That's more than twice as any other state except Texas. Now, this should not come as a surprise since California is a populous state. We are also home to the most closed landfills, 176, proving that our addiction to trash is not a new phenomenon. So what's the problem with burying our trash? Aside from obviously using land that might otherwise be farming, trash can still significant impacts the environment. One threat is the groundwater quality with forms when water moves through garbage and is contaminated with salt and if not contained, negatively impact neighboring drinking water supplies. In addition to the risk landfills below the surface, they are also a major pollutant above ground. Landfills are known as super emitters, accounting for 41% of methane emissions. In 2011, our state set an ambitious target to address this issue in the form of a simple 3, declaring a new policy goal that not less than 70% of solid waste generated, recycled, or composted by the year 2020. At the time of the bill's passage, California diverted around 65% of all its waste from landfills. Elizabeth McMillan, member of the Natural Resources, stated that despite the state's high diversion, California is disposed of more waste than the national average. More recently, in 2018, the number would worsen, according to resourcecycling.com, thus not meeting the goal of 75% goal set 9 years earlier. So what are some factors that could lead? California last year disposed of 40 million tons of waste, solid waste alone, compared to 29 million in 2011. What does this mean? It means humans are dumping more and more every year, and it means the Senate Bill 341, the lofty goal that we didn't meet. American farmers are some of the most aggressive producers in the world. If we farm a commodity to help solve our waste problem, black soldier fly, as successfully as many other commodities in America, we are on our way to achieve the goals of the Bill 341, reduction of organic waste. Black soldier fly name is deceiving because, unlike houseflies, they are not considered pests and function more similar to redworm fly. According to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, bolts consume nothing but water, do not approach humans, do not bite or sting, and do not vector or disseminate any specific diseases. Black soldier fly, not only is black soldier fly not considered non-pest-like, they actually help their environment and their habitat. Black soldier fly is a unique, one-of-a-kind species that feeds on organic waste and biomass such as table scraps, manure, composting. The species itself is an insect that has a life cycle where it takes 2 to 3 days for the eggs to hatch, about 2 weeks to age, then lives adults from 5 to 8 days. The larvae stage is where the magic happens. This stage is actively disposes of the organic waste. In properly managed systems, this number is around 3 to 5 kilograms of waste per square meter of digesting area per day. In 2017, the US was shown to have 15% of all solid waste be food waste, but 95% of all food waste going to landfills. Residue from the food waste causes methane emissions due to its organic material and nutrient content. The role the black soldier fly plays is crucial in lowering the growing statistic of food waste generated each year. Due to their wide variety in diet, black soldier fly can be applied to many aspects of our lives, including its use in agricultural biomass. Agricultural biomass, almond hulls, are seeing a trend in a rapid increase in production, but are experiencing a decrease in sources of distribution. Almond hulls accounting for 46% of the 3.4 million metric tons of biomass in 2020. Almond Board has gained interest in black soldier fly. Sustainability factor comes into play here, where the black soldier fly can actively dispose of all the agricultural biomass easily due to the amount of organic waste the fly can eat. Almond Board announced a $6 million investment in 75 independent projects exploring next-generation farming practices. One of the top research projects they invested in was a study at UC Davis on the black soldier fly on almond hulls for livestock feed. Results of the research trended positive, and the larvae calcium content increased by 18%, aeration from 0.04 to 0.95 milliliters per 1 gram dry weight. This macronutrient content is vital in overall performance of the species as livestock feed. Black soldier fly is in a place in a strong competitor, becoming the staple protein supplement for all livestock, such as chickens. Because the species composed 0.1% protein, one will have to supplement the varying amounts in order to replace the protein provided from each type. A study was conducted at Pickett's Mountain, placing 100 pounds of 60% protein chicken feed, 17 kilograms of 40.1% black soldier fly larvae, according to RS International. This data determined that 1.2 million larvae is needed 86 kilograms of waste, covering an area per week, covering an area of 0.8 to 82 meters squared, is needed to produce 17 kilograms of high protein feed. This cycle of raise, feed, recover, repeat demonstrates sustainability of black soldier fly. The revolution of the black soldier fly comes with the waste management companies. Cal Waste, local waste collector, now separate the organic waste from the proper recyclable materials. Thereafter, the other waste management, like Cal Waste, must ship their waste in tonnage to two places: internal composters and anaerobic digesters. They're two options, but not necessarily great choices. The best way to describe the current infrastructure is a quote from Lisa Potts, representative of Cal Waste. Infrastructure to manage the organic waste not keeping up with mandates and requirements that are being sent to manage. If the black soldier fly had an infrastructure to decompose the excessive amount of organic waste, then we'd be on our way to solve our waste problem and complete this lofty goal. Now let's put the black soldier fly farming solution in reality. A black soldier fly farm would allow waste management to ship their tonnage to the facility. Once the organic waste integrated into the operation, and the biomass produced sustainably protein feed and used by farmers for organic biomass that is currently sent to landfills. Looking at the black soldier fly solution, broader perspective, this affects everyone. Farming the black soldier fly solution is an agricultural problem that affects everyone greatly today and in the future. The effect of the species going from waste management to farmers to twist on the farm to fork phrase by making it fork to farm.
Thank you. So we've got a few questions for you. Interesting concept. Can you walk me through the economics of how the black soldier fly provides us an economic benefit and or a monetization model for that? How are we going to make money off this deal?
So first we have to start the operation. You could have an entire facility located at a certain area where it's publicly mandated by the Public Department of Health, but where the facility contains the black soldier fly at all stages of production, from egg to fly. Whereas the eggs, when the eggs hatch, control the larvae and put in organized systems where the food waste or any organic material goes into the bins or goes to the waste, and they produce biomass such as frass, oil, or even the larvae itself, transforming the larvae as a biomass for feed, as a pellet. Then you can keep some of the larvae into a fly state, to the fly stage of the life cycle, where you use those flies for stages of reproduction, where you reproduce in controlled environments. They're able to reproduce fast, where you can collect the eggs and put it back. Then you can sell the frass as extra fertilizer for soil. You can sell the larvae as a pellet for feed, as a protein feed supplement, and then the last part. Whereas you can have the oil, or you can actually just sell the flies themselves. One of the main problems with the fly itself and monetization problems is that the black soldier fly is very hard to get. They live more towards the equator. So once we get that over to the United States, where there's only really one commercial operation, then once we get there, then we're not suffering any monetization drawbacks. We're only experiencing success because we're controlling every stage, and because food waste is inevitable. Because you eat more food here, it'll keep happening.
Okay, as a follow-up question, are there any regulatory issues about importing black soldier flies or having them in the United States?
Absolutely not. And actually, to mention, I actually have an SAE about the black soldier fly. Unfortunately, it's not in production right now because I suffered an injury, so I had to stop the production. But I purchased around 1,000 black soldier fly larvae and then kept them in a biopod, where I constantly put my food waste inside, like where I live in a man cave, where all that food I generate and leave out, I can put into the biopod. It's a use where I'm being lazy. I turn that laziness into a proper use for society. I'm benefiting society by getting rid of the food.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I have a very simple question. What got you interested in this fly? I mean,
Great story. So first, representative from Cal Waste, Lisa Klotz, actually came to our school last school year around October and gave us a speech about the impact of food waste and landfills causing methane. This urged me to do something about composting, because previously at a scout camp at Camp Emerald Bay, I learned all about composting and how to benefit the environment. Many different ways you can compost, like with worms. Then one day, I happened to read an Aguilar article that actually talked about the black soldier fly, and it was specifically on the UC Davis research study. So I took that and I kept brainstorming, learned that I could start this on my own, and also make a wonderful speech about it, of course.
okay. So you learned about it it got interested because you were trying to figure out a way to compost.
Figure out a way to compost for the school. Since I used mine as SAE, I wanted everyone to have this as an SAE. We're benefiting the school and our local community by constantly putting waste into these bins and composting them so that they're not affecting our taxes. The city of Galt is being taxed heavily for the amount of waste that the mandate actually caused. Post 2020, you are taxed heavily by putting your waste in landfills, which is a struggle for companies like Cal Waste, because internal composters, aerobic digesters, are very rare. They're very far away, and they're also have insane lines for them. That means that our taxes in town are increasing. It's more of a way to benefit the local problem.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Trevor, what would it cost to set up a black soldier fly farm to handle all the waste in Sacramento County?
Well, it would have to be, in terms of, we're talking a facility, like if Cal Waste opened up their own facility, $1 million investment, but not a multi-million